Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for another video. We got a good one prepared for you today. What we're going to do is we are going to preview and break down our Florida State versus Miami football game we have coming up for Week 9 of the 2024 college football season. We are going to give our complete predictions for this game, who's going to win, who's going to lose, and what the final score will be. We know what's happening with these teams right now. These teams are going in opposite directions. One team needs to win out just to make a bowl game. The other team is trying to go undefeated, trying to make the playoffs this season. Both going in different directions, but we know in these rivalry games, you got to take those records, throw them out the window. Anything can happen. And make sure to hit that like button and make sure to subscribe. If you have any comments about this game or any other ones, drop it below and I will respond. Every week, we go over every single college football game and we break down the money lines, the spreads, and the over-unders. And we also do the same thing for every NFL game as well. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you're subscribed so you can follow along with us this season. If you're a football fan, if you're a sports fan, make sure to subscribe to the channel. So we have Florida State versus the Miami Hurricanes coming up this week. This is one of the best rivalries in all of college football. It's going to be at 7 p.m. October 26th, ESPN. Florida State comes in. They are 1-6 right now. Florida State started out the year top 10, and it's been a complete train wreck this season. But we know that this team has a talented roster. They've just completely not put anything together. But they're going to get up for this Miami game. This is a rivalry game. Miami's been playing not their best football the last few games. Florida State's going to seek to take advantage of that, be able to score a lot of points on this Miami defense, make this game competitive. But Miami comes in. They need to get the secondary right. Secondary's been getting torched every single game the last 3 to 4 games. Guys have been running wide open the whole time. They have to lock down the secondary. They have a great defensive line. Secondary is the question mark. We thought coming off the bye versus the Louisville game, they might have taken a couple steps forward, but they actually took more steps back this past weekend. But one thing they have going for them, Cam Ward and the offense, number 1 in the entire country right now. They're outscoring everyone. But looking at this game, Miami has a 91.4% chance to win this game. They come in 21-point favorites. That is a massive spread for a rivalry game, but they're 21-point favorites. The over-under here is 54.5. There's going to be some points scored here. The big question for Florida State is their quarterback position. We know they had DJU, they had Luke, Blockgren. They've been shuffling quarterbacks. Nothing has worked for the offense. Let's just look at their games they've had this season. So they started out Georgia Tech. They scored 21, then Boston College 13, Memphis 12, Cal 9, SMU 16, Clemson 13, Duke 16. They haven't scored more than 16 points in their last 6 games. They haven't scored more than 21 points the entire season. That is awful. That is historically one of the worst offenses in Florida State history. Right now they come in, they're only averaging 15 points a game. They're throwing for 220 per game. They're running for 72.9. Don't forget when the season started, the running game, the rushing attack was supposed to be the strength of this team, was their offensive line, their defensive line, and their running game. They have one of the worst rushing attacks in the nation. Only 72.9 per game. Right now, their defense is giving up 25 per game, but I can't fully blame the defense. It's been bad tackling. However, they're on the field the entire game, so they definitely get wore out by the second half. They're giving up 210 passing yards per game, 172 rushing yards per game, one of the worst rush defenses in the country, and that was supposed to be a strength of this team. Miami's going to line up. They have a top 10 offensive line. They're going to ground and pound you the entire game. Miami comes in, they average 48.3. Throwing for 400.6 passing yards per game, the number 1 passing attack in the nation right now. That's why Cameron Ward is a Heisman frontrunner, and they're running for 188.9. Florida State versus the average team gives up 172 on the ground. Now they're playing Miami's running back to average almost 190. So they're going to feast on the ground easily, and they're giving up 22.6 points a game. 237 through the air, and 92 rushing yards on the ground. It's going to be hard for Florida State to establish a rushing attack here. Miami has a great defensive line. As I mentioned at the beginning, you have to attack Miami vertically through the air. You have to get the game into their secondary. Their tackling is awful. Angles, awful. Guys are going to be wide open the whole time. But Florida State just doesn't have a quarterback who can consistently spread the ball out. They have a complete quarterback carousal going on. DJU, Luke, Blockren. They have Lawrence at running back. They have Douglas at wide receiver. But Miami is loaded at the skill positions. You have Cam Ward closing in on 2,600 yards, 24 touchdowns, leads the nation in touchdowns, only 5 picks. Running back room is deep. Martinez, Fletcher, Lyle, Allen, wide receiver, Restrepo closing in on 700 yards, closing in on Michael Irvin's all-time record. You have Horton, George, Smith, Brown, you have Arroyo, Williams. There's weapons up and down the field. Quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end. Florida State will not be able to stop this Miami offense. That is a certain thing. You have to outscore Miami. We know Miami's defense is a lot better than they've been playing. They've been playing like crap basically the last 3 to 4 games. But at some point, they're going to get things right and they're going to start being serviceable. Even giving up over 30 points 3 straight games, they're still only averaging 22.6 points per game. That's very good on the defensive side. They have to play better. They have to get more quarterback pressures. Florida State's been giving up a lot of quarterback sacks. Miami's going to blitz heavily. They're going to try to bottle up the quarterback. They're going to come after you. They're going to pin their ears back and come after you. That's why the secondary is always wide open. They are either playing man-to-man, zone, they're stacking the line, and they're coming after you. You have to be able to get the ball off quick, find the open guy, get the chunk plays. But it's going to be hard because Florida State just doesn't have the talent on the offense side. This might be the worst offense that Miami has played this whole season. They've been lighting things up. But in rivalry games, anything can happen. The big question is not so much, will Miami win this game? How much will Miami win by? Will they be able to cover a 21-point spread? That is a huge spread for a rivalry game, especially an in-state rivalry game. This is one of the best rivalries in all of college football. But Miami is on a mission this season. They want to make the ACC championship. They want to potentially make that playoffs, try to get into the national championship. Are they a national championship team? That remains to be seen. Their offense is as good, if not better, than everyone else's in the nation. They have the number 1 offense right now. They're going to have to get the defense right, though, if they have national championship aspirations. They're potentially going to play Clemson in the ACC championship. You got to get things right because Clemson's scoring a lot of points right now. You have to, every game going forward, Miami has to continue to adapt that defense, get them better, and everything is still in front of them right now. They're 7-0. They have yet to lose, but Florida State would love to give them their first loss of the season. So what do I have happening in this game? I have Miami getting the defense on track, getting an early lead, starting out the game aggressive. Cristobal just doesn't want to win this game. This game is personal. This is Miami, Florida State. Cristobal played at Miami. He knows how important these in-state rivalry games are, and it matters a lot for recruiting. You want to cement yourself as the team of the state this season. You've already beaten Florida. You want to beat Florida State also. You want to go 2-0 in-state. You beat them all, the big schools, and that's going to help you recruiting-wise. I have Miami winning this one, 45-17. I have them covering that massive spread still, and I have them going over. This game is going to be fun to watch, but I think mainly for Miami fans. Unfortunately for Florida State, every Florida State fan that I've talked to is not even defending the team. They don't think they're going to win, but you know what? Maybe that means something bad's going to happen for Miami. Everyone's counting out Florida State. Maybe Miami is counting out Florida State, and they're going to get punched in the mouth. Perhaps they still win the game, but Florida State makes it very close, just like the last 3 Miami games have all been one-possession games. If that's the case, people are going to be blasting Miami once this game ends. They have to win it. They have to cover the spread. Stop the one-possession games. Start out early. Get some tackles on defense. But that's our breakdown. That's our preview and prediction for our 2024 Week 9 Miami versus Florida State game. Make sure to hit that like button. Make sure to subscribe. If you have any comments, drop them below and I will respond. Thank you.